Faith is often the starting point of every meaningful change in life, including financial progress. It is the quiet but powerful confidence that improvement is possible even when circumstances appear limited. Many people experience seasons where effort seems greater than results, where income feels fixed and opportunities seem distant. In such moments, faith becomes more than a spiritual idea. It becomes a mindset that keeps a person moving forward instead of surrendering to discouragement. When someone believes that progress is possible, their thinking begins to shift. They become more open to learning new skills, exploring different opportunities, and making wiser financial decisions. Faith does not replace hard work or planning. Instead, it strengthens them. It gives a person the inner stability to continue investing effort when results are not immediately visible. Just as a farmer plants seeds with the expectation that growth will eventually appear, faith encourages a person to continue building, saving, improving, and preparing. Over time, this mindset changes how challenges are viewed. Instead of seeing obstacles as permanent barriers, they are seen as situations that require creativity, patience, and persistence. This perspective gradually opens the door to new possibilities because the individual begins to search for solutions rather than accepting limitation as the final outcome. Faith also influences the way people recognize and respond to opportunities. When the mind is filled with doubt and fear, even good opportunities can appear risky or impossible. However, when a person carries a mindset of belief and expectation, they are more likely to notice possibilities that others overlook. They become attentive to ideas, connections, and chances for growth that may have previously gone unnoticed. This shift does not mean acting recklessly or ignoring practical realities. Instead, it encourages thoughtful courage. A person guided by faith studies options carefully, prepares wisely, and then moves forward with confidence rather than hesitation. Over time, this approach can create meaningful financial progress. Small decisions such as improving financial habits, learning how to manage money better, investing in education, or starting new ventures can gradually produce larger results. Faith becomes the force that keeps a person consistent during the process. It reminds them that progress often develops step by step rather than through instant change. By maintaining belief in the possibility of growth, individuals remain motivated to continue improving their situation. Eventually, those consistent efforts combine with opportunity, preparation, and discipline to produce outcomes that once seemed distant, demonstrating how a mindset rooted in faith can quietly but powerfully influence the path toward greater financial stability and abundance. Words carry influence far beyond simple communication. They shape thoughts, influence emotions, and gradually affect the decisions people make about their lives and finances. When a person repeatedly speaks about limitation, failure, or the impossibility of improvement, those expressions often reinforce a mindset that expects disappointment. Over time, this type of thinking can quietly discourage effort and reduce the willingness to explore opportunities. On the other hand, when language becomes intentional and constructive, it begins to reshape perspective. Speaking about growth, possibility, and improvement does not magically create wealth, but it encourages the mind to search for solutions instead of focusing on obstacles. This shift in language can gradually build confidence and determination. A person who consistently declares progress is more likely to stay focused on developing skills, strengthening discipline, and managing resources wisely. Words become daily reminders of the direction a person wants their life to move toward. They help replace negative patterns of thinking with a clearer sense of purpose and expectation. Over time, the repeated practice of speaking with intention can create a mental environment where hope and determination become stronger than fear or doubt. Declarations are most powerful when they are supported by action and responsibility. Simply speaking positive statements without changing behavior rarely produces lasting results. However, when words align with commitment, they can strengthen motivation and keep a person focused during challenging seasons. For example, someone who regularly declares that their financial situation will improve is more likely to reinforce habits that support that belief. They may become more careful with spending, more dedicated to saving, or more willing to learn about financial planning. Words then function as internal guidance that keeps attention directed toward growth. This alignment between speech and action also influences how individuals interact with others. A person who communicates with confidence and optimism often attracts supportive relationships and constructive opportunities. Colleagues, partners, and mentors are naturally drawn to people who express clarity and determination about their goals. In this way, words help shape the atmosphere surrounding financial progress. They encourage persistence when results develop slowly and help maintain focus when distractions appear. By choosing language that reflects discipline, hope, and responsibility, individuals create a daily habit that strengthens both mindset and behavior. Over time, this consistent pattern can support meaningful progress, demonstrating how thoughtful communication can contribute to building a life that steadily moves towards stability, growth, and increasing opportunity. Gratitude is often underestimated when people think about financial growth and stability. Many individuals believe progress comes only from effort, strategy, or opportunity, yet the attitude carried during the journey can strongly influence the outcome. Gratitude shifts attention from what is missing to what already exists. When people constantly focus on what they lack, their thinking can become heavy with frustration and discouragement. Over time, this mindset can reduce motivation and make challenges feel larger than they actually are. Gratitude works differently. It encourages individuals to recognize the resources, abilities, relationships, and opportunities that are already present in their lives. This awareness brings a sense of balance and calmness that improves decision-making. When a person appreciates what they have, they are less likely to make impulsive financial choices driven by stress or dissatisfaction. Instead, they become more thoughtful and responsible with their resources. Gratitude also encourages patience. Financial growth rarely happens instantly, and the ability to appreciate small progress helps people stay committed to long-term improvement. Whether it is a steady job, a growing skill, supportive relationships, or even small financial gains, acknowledging these things builds emotional strength. Over time, this positive outlook helps individuals remain focused on development instead of being distracted by temporary setbacks. Gratitude also changes the way people interact with opportunities and relationships, both of which play an important role in financial advancement. Individuals who regularly express appreciation tend to create stronger connections with others. In professional environments, gratitude strengthens trust and cooperation, which can lead to collaboration, mentorship, and new opportunities. People naturally prefer to work with those who show respect and appreciation rather than constant dissatisfaction. This simple attitude can gradually open doors that might otherwise remain closed. Gratitude also encourages generosity, and generosity often creates a healthy cycle of support and goodwill within communities. When people give, help others, or contribute positively to those around them, they build relationships that can become valuable sources of encouragement and opportunity. In addition, gratitude keeps ambition balanced with humility. It reminds individuals that progress is not only the result of personal effort, but also the result of guidance, teamwork, and circumstances that supported their journey. This perspective prevents pride from overshadowing wisdom. Instead of chasing wealth with pressure or comparison, gratitude allows people to pursue growth with peace and clarity. Over time, this balanced mindset helps individuals remain consistent, make wiser financial choices, and maintain healthier relationships. In this way, gratitude quietly supports the process of building abundance by creating a stable inner attitude that welcomes growth while appreciating every step along the journey. Financial increase rarely happens by accident. It often follows a pattern where wisdom, discipline, and consistent choices begin to shape a different outcome over time. Many people desire prosperity, yet they overlook the importance of aligning their daily actions with principles that support growth. Obedience to wisdom simply means choosing to follow practices that have proven to create stability and progress. These practices may include responsible spending, consistent saving, learning how to manage debt, and investing time in developing valuable skills. At first, these actions may seem small or even restrictive, but their long-term impact can be significant. When a person respects these principles, they begin to build a strong foundation for financial stability. Each wise decision becomes like a brick added to a structure that will eventually support greater opportunities. For example, learning to control unnecessary spending allows resources to be directed toward more meaningful goals. Developing skills increases personal value in the workplace or business environment. Even simple habits such as budgeting or tracking expenses can provide clarity about where resources are going and how they can be used more effectively. Over time, this alignment between knowledge and action begins to produce results that may not have been possible without discipline. Obedience to wisdom therefore becomes less about restriction and more about preparation for growth. When individuals consistently apply wise financial principles, they also become better prepared to handle increased resources. Sudden financial opportunities can appear in many forms, such as promotions, profitable projects, successful investments, or unexpected partnerships. However, without preparation, these opportunities may not produce lasting benefit. Discipline ensures that when growth arrives, it can be managed responsibly rather than lost through poor decisions. For example, someone who has already developed the habit of budgeting will be more capable of handling a larger income. A person who has learned patience and careful planning will be more likely to make thoughtful investments rather than impulsive choices. Obedience to wisdom also encourages humility and continuous learning. Financial environments change over time, and individuals who remain open to guidance and education are better positioned to adapt. They seek advice from experienced mentors, study financial principles, and remain cautious about decisions that could create unnecessary risk. This mindset strengthens long-term stability rather than focusing only on short-term gain. As these habits continue to develop, the individual becomes increasingly prepared for greater responsibility and opportunity. In this way, wisdom does not simply protect existing resources, it creates the conditions where increase can occur and remain sustainable. Through patience, learning, and disciplined choices, a person gradually positions themselves for financial progress that is steady, responsible, and capable of lasting for many years. Generosity is often misunderstood when people discuss financial growth. Some believe that giving reduces what a person has, while others see it only as an act of kindness with no connection to long-term prosperity. In reality, generosity can play an important role in shaping the mindset and relationships that support financial progress. When a person chooses to give, they move away from the fear that resources will always be scarce. Instead, they begin to see themselves as participants in a larger flow of support and contribution. This shift in thinking can reduce the anxiety that often surrounds money. A generous person does not view every resource as something that must be held tightly out of fear of loss. Instead, they develop confidence that resources can circulate and return through many different paths. Generosity also encourages people to think beyond personal gain. It reminds them that financial success is not only about accumulation, but also about impact. Whether through helping family members, supporting community needs, or contributing to meaningful causes, acts of giving create a sense of purpose that goes beyond numbers and possessions. Over time, this perspective strengthens emotional balance and reduces the pressure that often accompanies financial ambition. A person who practices generosity is less likely to become trapped in constant comparison or dissatisfaction because their focus includes both receiving and contributing. Generosity also influences the quality of relationships, which can have a powerful effect on opportunities and collaboration. People naturally trust and appreciate individuals who demonstrate kindness and a willingness to help others. In professional environments, this attitude can strengthen teamwork and create supportive networks that open new doors. A generous person may share knowledge, offer guidance, or assist someone during a difficult time. These actions often build goodwill that returns later in unexpected ways. For example, a colleague who received support may later recommend an opportunity, partnership, or project that leads to financial advancement. Generosity, therefore, becomes part of a cycle where positive actions strengthen connections and expand possibilities. It also helps individuals remain humble as their success grows. When people continue giving even as their resources increase, they maintain a balanced perspective about wealth and responsibility. They recognize that prosperity carries the ability to uplift others as well as themselves. This awareness protects them from becoming isolated by success or overly focused on personal benefit. Over time, generosity contributes to a healthy environment where cooperation, respect, and mutual support flourish. Within such an environment, opportunities tend to multiply naturally because people prefer to work with those who value relationships and contribution. In this way, generosity quietly strengthens both character and community, creating conditions where financial progress and meaningful impact can grow together. Discipline and stewardship form the quiet structure behind lasting financial stability. Many people focus on the excitement of earning more money, yet fewer consider the habits required to manage and sustain it. Discipline simply means choosing consistent actions that support long-term goals instead of temporary satisfaction. In financial matters, this can include setting clear priorities, controlling unnecessary spending, and developing habits such as saving regularly or tracking expenses. These practices may appear simple, but their influence grows stronger over time. Without discipline, even significant income can quickly disappear through impulsive decisions or poor planning. Stewardship takes this idea further by emphasizing responsibility for the resources a person already possesses. It encourages individuals to treat their finances with care and intention rather than neglect or misuse. When someone understands stewardship, they recognize that every resource has potential value if managed wisely. This mindset transforms everyday financial decisions into opportunities for growth and stability. Instead of asking only how money can be spent, a disciplined thinker also asks how it can be protected, multiplied, or directed toward meaningful goals. Over time, this approach builds confidence and clarity because financial choices become guided by purpose rather than pressure. Discipline therefore becomes less about restriction and more about creating freedom in the future. As discipline and stewardship develop, they gradually prepare a person to handle greater levels of responsibility and opportunity. Financial growth often brings new challenges, such as managing larger investments, making complex decisions, or balancing multiple sources of income. Individuals who have already trained themselves to practice careful stewardship are far more prepared for these situations. They are less likely to be overwhelmed by sudden change because they already understand the importance of planning and patience. Discipline also strengthens emotional control when dealing with money. Financial markets, business ventures, and career opportunities can sometimes create moments of excitement or fear that tempt people into rash decisions. A disciplined individual learns to pause, evaluate information carefully, and act with wisdom rather than impulse. This ability protects resources and increases the chances of long-term success. Stewardship also encourages continuous learning. Responsible individuals regularly seek knowledge about financial management, investment strategies, and economic trends so they can improve their decisions over time. In this way, discipline and stewardship work together to create stability that supports growth. They help individuals transform opportunities into lasting prosperity rather than temporary success. By consistently practicing these habits, a person builds a foundation strong enough to support both present needs and future ambitions, allowing financial progress to grow steadily and responsibly throughout life. Many people describe success as sudden when they finally see visible results, but what appears sudden is often the outcome of quiet persistence over a long period of time. Opportunities frequently arrive after a person has spent months or even years developing skills, learning from mistakes, and continuing forward despite slow progress. Persistence is the ability to keep working toward improvement, even when results are not immediately visible. It allows individuals to build experience and knowledge that later become valuable when new possibilities appear. For example, someone who consistently improves their professional abilities may eventually be noticed for a promotion or an important project. An entrepreneur who continues refining ideas may eventually discover a product or service that attracts strong demand. To others, these moments can look like overnight success, yet they are usually the result of preparation meeting the right opportunity. Persistence also builds resilience. When people face setbacks, it can be easy to interpret those moments as proof that progress is impossible. However, individuals who remain patient and determined often gain insights from those experiences that guide them toward better decisions in the future. In this way, persistence turns challenges into lessons rather than barriers, gradually strengthening both confidence and capability. Sudden opportunities often emerge in environments where consistent effort has already created readiness. When preparation and persistence are present, individuals are able to recognize and act on possibilities that others might miss. This readiness includes practical elements such as knowledge, skills, and financial awareness, but it also includes mental and emotional stability. A person who has developed patience through persistence is less likely to panic or hesitate when a major opportunity appears. Instead, they evaluate it carefully and move forward with confidence. For example, a professional who has spent years building relationships and expertise may suddenly receive an invitation to join an important project or leadership role. A business owner who has consistently improved operations may unexpectedly attract investors or partnerships that expand growth. These moments often feel sudden because the visible change happens quickly, but the foundation for that change was built gradually through dedication and preparation. Persistence, therefore, plays a vital role in financial progress because it ensures that individuals remain active in their pursuit of growth even when progress seems slow. Over time, this commitment increases the likelihood that when the right moment arrives, they will be ready to embrace it fully. What begins as steady effort can eventually lead to opportunities that accelerate progress in ways that once seemed unlikely, demonstrating how patience and determination quietly prepare the path for meaningful advancement. Prayer and intentional reflection can play a meaningful role in shaping the mindset that influences financial progress. While practical effort and wise planning remain essential, the inner condition of a person's mind often determines how effectively those efforts are applied. Prayer provides a moment to pause, think clearly, and align personal goals with deeper values such as responsibility.